Hi, my name is Karen Parsons. I'm an interest cancellation specialist, and I was just asked to share something that I believe makes this automated velocity banking program just so much different from all the rest. And I had a little break between clients, so I just thought I'd just do an impromptu little video. Actually, many of you may have listened to the interview I did with CJ that kind of goes into other ideas and things that I think are important. But when I was introduced to this, the main thing that really stood out to me is that people don't have to change their lifestyle and they know exactly where they're headed financially. Personally, I've gotten out of debt with a very strict budgeting, a debt snowball program, and it works. But you have to be really disciplined. I kind of call it the scrimping and scraping method. And what was neat was, it when I saw that there were alternatives, because unfortunately it was so hard to stick with and it was time consuming. And, I had to keep track of all my numbers. And I loved when I saw this program a number of years ago, how automated it is. And the thing that I really want to focus on tonight, though, is how accurate a comparison we can do for people. And as an interest cancellation specialist, my favorite part of the whole time of educating a family is when we get to this part of the session together, because we've put in all their debts. We don't ask for, account numbers or social security numbers, anything like that, but just, what are the exact amounts you owe on your mortgage? What's your income in total? What's your expenses in total? And then we put it into the program. The algorithms go to work, and we get the privilege to show clients exactly where they're headed today and what the money maps can do for them. So what I'm going to do is just share my screen and actually show you a comparison that I recently did. Now, I want to preface this that, of course, everybody's numbers are going to be different. But this is a real typical example of a personalized savings report. With this family, hopefully you can see it well. With this family, they have 300,000. I'm going to use round numbers. You can see the exact ones. $300,000 worth of debt in their mortgage. They're at 3.88% interest. They have a number of loans totaling $91,000, and they've got a few credit cards with $7,000. So their total debt is $399,000, let's say $400,000. They have an effective interest rate across all their debts of 5.3%, and they're paying $4,600 a month in debt payments. Here's their income. Between the two of them, they have $8,500 coming in. Here's their debt payments, that $4,600. And they had like almost $3,700 of other living expenses every month. They only have about $190 left over at the end of the month. So, they didn't have a lot left over, but utilizing their exact numbers, their lifestyle, not changing their lifestyle at all, which again, I love that aspect of this because that means people can stick with it. We put their numbers into the program. The millions of lines of code went to work figuring out what does their picture look like if they follow the bank's plan, and what's it going to look like with the Money Max account. This is the part that blew them away. Every month, this month, they were paying $1,700 in interest. That's 44% of their monthly expenses. And yet their effective interest rate at their mortgage is only 3.88%. How is it that at 5.3% effective interest rate across all their debts, they're actually paying 44% interest? That's that total interest percentage. That's literally what's going out. What they could be driving by the bank and just throwing $1,700 out the window and saying, here you go. And that just, it's amazing how much, our retirement literally is locked up in the money, the interest that we're paying to the bank, because we're just throwing it away every month. They're actually going to spend $3.16 for every dollar that they pay down in principal. Let's take a look at where they were. This is the bank's plan. This is where they're heading right now. They had 29.8 years left on their mortgage. They're going to pay a total of $239,000 worth of interest. When you add that to the well, basically almost 400,000 they owed, they're going to be spending over $600,000 to pay off their debts. This really was eye-opening for them. They didn't realize how much money they were scheduled already going to be paying to the bank. And here's where I get so excited, because with this program, literally including the cost of the program, look what we're going to be able to do for them. And we guarantee these numbers based on their lifestyle today. They're going to be paid off in 8.2 years, 21-year savings. And for this couple, it's a young couple with young children. Before their kids are going to be pre-teens, they're going to be debt-free. Can you imagine just the lifestyle change that makes for them, for their children, for forever in their family? They were excited about they're not going to have to worry about school bills. You know, they're going to be able to send their kids to school. They were really looking forward to some traveling, and they have a wish list. And here's the cool thing. They're going to be able to have the retirement they dreamed of. And they had no idea this was a possibility for them, and it could be automated. So here's the rest of the story. They're going to be paid off in 8.2 years. They will only pay $75,000 worth of interest, saving them $164,000 worth of interest staying in their pocket instead of going to the bank. That's life-changing. But here's the rest of the story. And I love how we do this when we do an example. We all know we can go out and get some pretty good interest on our money. But we just like to show what interest does when it's working for you instead of working for the bank, even at a very conservative amount. If this family, when they were done paying their debts in 8.2 years, they continued to just take that discretionary income and the debt payment that they had. If they put that into the bank at just 1% in a savings account, they're going to have $1.4 million in that savings account in the same number of years it took them to pay off their mortgage. Now, is that life-changing? That's automated velocity banking, being able to knock out that debt quickly, start building wealth quickly. And here the program is just doing it for you and guiding you what to do. And that's the part that I just love about this program. And a couple things I want to point out. Remember, their effective interest rate was just a little over 5%. With this program, and I don't know if you can see it here, but that $75,000 worth of interest instead of $239,000, that is an effective interest rate of 1.18%. Literally, they would have to go out and refinance at just over 1% to be able to get this kind of savings. You think you could do that today? Heck, we couldn't even do that a couple of years ago when the rates were low. And I want to show you kind of the rest of the stories. We scroll down here. Note here, this family is saving $1,681 every month over the life of the program. That's substantial. But I want you to take that picture of, you know, when you got your loan, you had this chart which showed you exactly how your amortization was spread out. Here in the red is the amortized loans for all their debts and getting paid off in 29.8 years. They'll be done. But with the Money Max account, note this, they're done in 8 years, and now they're starting to build wealth. But let's look a little closer at it. Let's look at 2 years from now. They're still, in the bank's plan, they're going to owe $349,000. With us, they're down to $319,000. They have saved $40,000. Literally kept that money in their own pocket instead of giving it to the bank. Let's look at 5 years. They would be at $285,000. Now they're at $175,000. So they've saved over $110,000 in that 5-year period. And they're not struggling trying to figure out what to do and how to do it, because the Money Max account shows them exactly. It's like a GPS guiding them. It's not paying their bills for them. They're going to keep doing things the way they always have. But just like a GPS in your car says, hey, turn here, turn there, it's saying, hey, you've got this amount of money, go ahead and apply it here. This is where it's most effective for you, and helping them to reach their goal the fastest. And look, in 8 years, totally debt free. And again, if they were just putting the money in the bank at 1%, you can see it growing. This chart kind of visually shows it to you. This red was the plan that they were on. Now they're going to be out of debt very quickly and able to build wealth. So my encouragement to you is, we don't know exactly what it's going to be able to do for you, but now you can have that accurate comparison and find out exactly what it'll do. And I love the fact that when we do this, it's totally complimentary. Nobody pays for the service. It's really just an educational process. And it may or may not be for you, but we can show you exactly with using this automated system what it will do for you. And you have that target to go for. You know exactly when you're going to be debt free. In another video, you'd be able to see the actual Money Max account and how it's on your dashboard and it's in front of you all the time, giving you that incentive to know, hey, if I go ahead and pay this much toward my principal, how much interest am I actually going to be able to save? Having that target to be able to shoot for, to me, makes all the difference in the world. And so really, whatever your goals are, whether you're trying to eliminate that debt faster, maybe you want to build equity faster, maybe your goal is really building wealth. This maximizes your cash flow, utilizes every penny most strategically, so you can stop throwing away that interest to the bank. And you also don't have to spend a ton of time trying to figure out and know what to do. You just follow the prompts of the system. I really appreciate that, this analysis is totally complimentary. It's just really an educational process. And I encourage you, go ahead and see what the program can do. We can run that personalized savings report for you. And then you'll know, is it a good fit or is it not? So hopefully this was helpful to you. Appreciate you taking the time to listen. And if we can be of service in any way, let us know.